Do you know what time it is?
What?
It's time for a Handheld Showdown! What we've got here is the MSI Claw, the only Intel-powered handheld in a sea of AMD-powered Windows handhelds in the market right now. Naturally, our first thought was to find out just how well it performs compared to what we've claimed is the most powerful Windows handheld in the market right now, the ASUS ROG Ally X. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty performance numbers, here's a quick specs breakdown of both handhelds on the screen. Quickly going through the major differences between the two consoles, other than the processor, we can see that the Ally X has significantly more LPDDR5 RAM than the Claw, with 24GB compared to 16GB. The Claw uses more modern wireless connectivity with Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4 support. The Claw also has one less Type-C port than the Ally X, and we really felt that one. Finally, the Ally X has a massive 80 Wh battery compared to the 53 Wh battery on the Claw. In terms of dimensions and weight, both consoles are nearly identical. It's the same with the displays as well, with both featuring 7-inch Full HD displays with 120Hz refresh rates. Although the Ally X does come with Corning Gorilla Glass, Victus and DXC coating for scratch resistance and glare reduction. Looking at it purely from a specifications perspective, the ROG Ally X is the better handheld. Of course, we're going to be taking a look at the performance numbers soon, so stay tuned. Both the MSI Claw and ROG Ally X sport a sleek all-black finish. The ROG Ally X features hand grips on the sides, while the Claw relies more on its shape to stay in your hands. That said, we'd say both handhelds felt fairly comfortable to hold, even over long usage periods. In terms of button quality and feel, we're leaning towards the Ally X, which felt a lot more premium than the MSI Claw, which felt a bit plasticky and cheap. That said, the MSI Claw uses Hall effect joysticks while the Ally X doesn't, so the Claw is less likely to suffer from stick drift and there's no dead zones, which is a big plus. Keep in mind that ASUS took a lot of pointers from the Ally and made significant improvements to the Ally X, while this is still MSI's first handheld rodeo. With that, it's time for the section we've all been waiting for, the performance. The MSI Claw here comes with an Intel Core Ultra 7 155H. You've also got an Intel Core Ultra 5 135H variant. The ROG Ally X, on the other hand, is available with only the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor, a direct upgrade over the ROG Ally, which came with the Z1 and Z1 Extreme processor. The Core Ultra 7 has more cores and threads, which should translate to better multi-core performance. However, the integrated Radeon 780M GPU on the Z1 Extreme is more powerful than the integrated Arc GPU on the Core Ultra 7. On paper at least. Let's take a look at the numbers. We ran 3 games on both consoles at various resolutions, the games being Hades, Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. The resolutions were 720p, 900p and 1080p. The Ally X gave us significantly more FPS on Hades compared to the Claw. Meanwhile, Baldur's Gate 3 ran better on the Ally X by approximately 10 FPS across the board. However, the scores were nearly identical on both devices when it came to Cyberpunk 2077. Synthetic benchmarks also see very similar scores across the board, with the MSI Claw and Ally X being neck and neck in all of our runs. In conclusion, we'll have to say that the Claw is definitely no slouch when it comes to performance, but the Ally X is still better where it counts, which is real-world gaming. Of course, we can't stop at just performance. This is a handheld showdown, can't have that without a battery life comparison. We know that the Ally X got a huge upgrade with its 80 Wh battery. In our gaming battery test, the Ally X lasted 169 minutes. That's nearly 3 hours. Comparatively, the MSI Claw's 53 Wh battery lasted only 77 minutes, which is less than half of the ROG Ally X. Definitely a big plus in favor of the Ally X, especially for a handheld which is meant to be used while on the go. Of course, there are a lot more factors to consider as well. In terms of software, we can safely say that ASUS's ROG Armoury Crate SE is better than MSI Center M. Both of them have their problems, but as of right now, Armoury Crate SE has seen a lot of improvements over time, and we can assume the same for the MSI Center M, but in the future. As it stands right now, it's too bare bones and finicky to use. Navigation, ease of use and setup is simply better on Armoury Crate SE. Next up is the price. While this variant of the MSI Claw has an MRP of 99,990 rupees, it's currently selling on Amazon for 62,990 rupees, which is actually a really good deal. The Ultra 5 variant is even cheaper at 50 grand. So if you're looking at just performance, that's actually pretty great value. Comparatively, the Ally X retails for 90 grand or 89,990 to be specific. But it is still very much the undisputed best Windows gaming handheld in the market right now. So that was our comparison of the MSI Claw and ROG Ally X. Let us know which handheld you liked in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one.